What is up, guys? Hove back again, and it's been quite a while since I've done a video, only because crypto has kind of been boring the last few months. So there wasn't really a whole lot to update on. I've also just been trading the traditional futures every morning because we've been working on a template for probably, I don't know, 6 or more months now. And we're putting the final touches on it. So it's been making the trading of the volatility in the traditionals a blast, and we've been making some decent money at the same time. So why not trade those instead of crypto, which has kind of just been some sideways action for a little while. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video is because I saw the whackness that was coming from Coinbase yesterday about their outrageous fee increase, and I wanted to spread the word on that because I think that's bullshit. I've used Coinbase since I got into crypto. It's been my go-to exchange just because I felt the most comfortable with that as the on-ramp and ease of use, but I mean, they haven't made anything good for a while. It's barely, I barely consider it an exchange. They don't have basic features that almost every exchange out there has. So it's kind of like the final straw. I'll definitely be taking most of my money off there and trading somewhere else. And I think other people should do that too, because not everybody is rich and can't afford millions of dollars a month in trading. It's ridiculous. And if we want to do the crypto community right, we should be worried about the smaller people. But I digress. Anyways, I wanted to get the word out there. I gave you guys a challenge of retweeting the tweet that I did, so I can do like chart walkthrough or breakdown video for you guys to show you what my thought process is when building an account. So I'll be doing a breakdown or walkthrough video of how I build the account on XLM today, since that was requested. I gave you guys the option of putting a request out there, and XLM is the one. So I'll try to verbalize my thought process as best as I can, like I have in a couple other videos. But normally that's in my head, so I don't usually talk out loud when I'm doing it. So there might be some dead air, but I'll try to do my best when talking through it, obviously. One last thing is there might be a bit of background noise going on. It's been hot as balls here in Hawaii, so it's impossible for me to close my windows or turn off the fans. It's just way too hot and humid. I would be dying here. I'd be in like a fucking sauna or something. So sorry in advance for the noise. All right, let's get into it. So what I'm gonna do is just pull up a new chart. And what the fudge just happened? All right, XLM, perfect. It doesn't have the best on Binance. So let me try this. Maybe Bittrex will have the longest history. Bear with me while I get the chart set up how I like it. Yeah, this looks like it's got a lot more history. I mean, regardless, whatever this was, some impulse, and now we're correcting it. So we'll work from the top down and see if we can get a count. I mean, first thing that sticks out is this pretty obvious triangle pattern. But before I dig into that, let me load some settings and get things how I like it. So give me a few. Alright, I'll turn this off because I don't care. Alright, and get into log. All right, so we'll work from the top down. Obviously, this was an impulse of something, and we're correcting it. That's what we think. So, when starting a count, I'll typically take a look at it for a little bit and see what jumps out. Like I said earlier, this triangle looks pretty obvious to me. It doesn't mean it is a triangle, it just could be some sideways action. Another thing I always have when looking at a chart, these are too dark. Man, the volume pretty much goes to 0. Let me turn these up a little bit. But I often look at volume. I'll look at the strength in oscillations, the RSI, and see exactly where we are and how we can anchor a count. Now, off the bat, this looks like it could be some sort of diag. I don't love it though. This could be ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this part looks like it could be contracting all this, but this, what would be proposed as a fifth, looks like it's expanding. So let me, our possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, possible 2, 2, 3. Project from our fourth, and it's longer, so that doesn't work. Let me get on a smaller time frame here on the 4-hour and go back to it and see what I can see on a smaller time frame, which just kind of helps. Also looking at the oscillators and RSI and volume in those instances to see if we can anchor a count around something, because a lot of times I've mentioned that I'll use these oscillators as a way to show the strength of a wave and find where our third wave is. Now, sometimes I find it a little difficult to use because crypto, I've noticed, is there's a lot of strong fifth waves. We get these extended fifth waves that often push as the strongest. So we got to keep that in mind. I'm using a general idea of what I look for when to trade. Just like this looks like a 3 because the push is strongest here, and this looks like a fifth. So let me see how that will work for us. Man, this volume just dies completely. So if we're basing this as a third, possible third, because it has the strongest push, highest volume in this area, how would that work? Okay, so this looks like a 3-wave down, and then we get a 4th up, and this possibly can be a 5th for a 1, and then this would be our next one, 2, 3, and there's no low here, so this wouldn't be ABC because there's no real 5th wave. We see a 1, 2, possible 3, and unless this is a truncation, which I wouldn't go to firsthand, I don't love it. So let me see. What about this? So what if this is ABC for 1? We get an ABC up. Is that a new high? Okay, ABC up. ABC down. 4. That's hard to say. Kind of like it like that. So, damn. Oh, you know what? So maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right here as a expanding diag. Let me just throw some count on here and see if this works out. Why does it say Neo up there? That's weird. This is XLM, right? Alright. So, if that were the case, this would have to be an expanding diag. Let me go ahead. I'm just thinking out loud here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's definitely overlap. This doesn't go higher than 2. So let me measure this to make sure it looks like expanding. So 3 is longer. We got that. Let's check and see if 5 is longer, which it looks like it is. Whoops. 5 is definitely longer. And then the only requirement would be the 4 would have to be longer than the 2, which it does. So this looks like this could either have been a 1 or an A. Now, from the looks of it, when I look out, it looks like it's more of a 3-wave down in that case, especially if this was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that truncation, or a 5th way over here, which I don't love. So let me get this on a smaller one just so I can kind of build outwards. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get this push, then there. So what will we count next? Alright, so we'll get off of this. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to think. I'm looking at this and trying to figure out how it could work, because it's a little funky. But we'll do this for a second. A, B, and I'm proposing C here. I'll pull it up a little bit and just try to figure this out. Now, I'm going to pull a fib the length of the A. And, I mean, look at that first reaction. I just pointed at my screen with my finger. This first reaction at the algo target, which is beautiful. So let's figure out how this works. Oftentimes, for a correction, I'll channel it from the B. It kind of is off of that. So let's see how this could work. We got to dig out 5 somewhere in here. So, this looks like 1, 2, and we can get, damn, a 3rd through here. We have this strong push. I don't like how that looks though. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5th could work. So let's put some 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't work. Get it on a higher time frame. where? Okay. Alright, so well, that doesn't really make sense to me. Okay. How are we fitting that in? Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just thinking it just didn't look right. So let me go back to this diag. I hate how you have to like scroll all the way back on a smaller time frame. Make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, I think I like it a little differently. I think I like it better this way. Let me try it this way. Just because it'd be hard to fit a 5 count in here. Just because of all this. This kind of looks more choppy like this does. So I feel like it goes with that. So let's do this. Let's move that over there and figure this the heck out. So if we're trying to do ABC, we can do this way. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That works a little bit better. So 2 to 4, and then 1 to 3 and 5. Let me just make sure those are right. Man. Trace the 1, project from our 2, and it just barely does qualify. Let me get that all. Whoa. Let me get that all the way over there, just so we could see. Just barely gets past that on that 3rd. So that works. Put that back on. Make sure that this 5th is, I think that one is the top, is 100%. I think. Let me pull this off real quick, just so I can make sure I get it exactly on the high, which that one looks like it's the high. So, all right, pull the length of that 3, project it from here. It looks like it could. I gotta get the magnet off so I can pull it all the way across. And right there, it just barely ticks through it. So it works as long as this 4 is long enough. I'll try to project that, and boom. All right, that works. All right, so let's do our trend line again, and then this would be A. So you would have an ABC, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for A, up for B and C. So that all works out good. Now let's again look at the fib pull from our origin through A, and you see that B almost gets to the tick of the 50 on log. Let me see if that changes when I turn off the log. It's pretty high. I like log though. And look, we get a nice reaction right at the 236. So we'll work as that as the A, and then see how we can count this for our C. And I'll open it up a little so we can see it a little bit better. What about, and this also looks 3-way, but it doesn't mean it has to be. I kind of like this. Make sure the magnet's off. 1, 2, 3 would end here, 4 and 5. Let's see, I'll do a fib pull from the 2 to the 4. I don't think there's an overlap. Let me check that first. No overlap. 2, 3, right to the golden pocket, and then look at the reaction at each algo level. You have the first one, the second one here, the third one reaction to the tick, and then the fourth one. So I like that pull. It looks pretty unconventional because you have the small one, then there's 3, 4, and 5, but as long as this doesn't overlap, we're good to go. Now, I'm going to get on a bigger time frame. This looks like A, B, C, because you have the, let's see how that works. I mean, straight to the 161A175 pocket that we would look for. I'm going to get on the 24-hour just to make this a little easier. Now that we've dug this count out, we have an ABC, which would make our W of this correction, and now it fits perfectly. Fits perfectly. This looks like ABC, 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 ABC. Okay, so it's breaking down correctly. So let's see. Let's put in. Well, let's start here. Let's draw our trend lines. A, B, C, D, and E. Connect AC, and you'll find it often overthrows. Beautiful. Exactly what we want to see. And then we'll connect the BD. I mean, it looks like a pretty nice triangle to me. I mean, you can't really see any of the volume because it sucks. Oh, here we go. That's much better. Volume profile fits. You get these spikes at certain inflection points, which you would see. So let's go from there. All right. I guess we obviously know this is WX, and we're working on Y. So from here, let's go ahead and figure this one out. I mean, what jumps out to me is we have the push here, which would imply our third, and then a smaller push for our fifth. I mean, the waves look are good. It's 1 here, 2 here, 3, 4, and 5. So let's go with that from the start. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oftentimes, when I'm trying to figure something out, I'll use the fib pulls to see where the reaction is, and what you'd expect for a 4 is a reaction at the 382 or 50, and it almost gets it to the tick. So I like that. We don't quite get to the 236, which is surprising. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna pull. Whoa! I'm gonna pull this. I'll put that on. See our 1 here. And it goes pretty far for that third. You get an extension. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Pretty almost to the tick of that 2.618. I'll bring it down to our fourth. So oftentimes, wave 1 and wave 5 will be related, or wave 3 and wave 5 will be related. Now this is almost 1618 of the 1. Let's see what it is to the third. I gotta turn off the magnet. Man, to the tick of the 618. So I like that. I like that for what would be our A. Let me put these bigger ones on here. So this was W, triangle X, and we're working on a Y, and a Y has to be ABC to complete, obviously. So this would be our A, this would be our B, and we're working on C. Now, whoa, what is that? That is a big wick. That might cause some difficulty in this count. Alright. I'm gonna throw some fibs on here. And this is that overlap? No. Alright. So we'll pull a fib from the start of our A through the end. Pull it out here. Oh man, look at that algo reaction. So we wick off the 50 a bunch of times and then finally get down. Algo reaction, almost to the tick. That's exactly what we want to see. Let me throw some other geometry on here. I'll start from here to the B, project from our A, and we're sitting right within that channel. I don't want to get this too clogged up, so I'm going to remove this just for now, just so I can build a count here. I'm going to remove this as well, but I'll throw on a fib extension tool. It would be the length of our A projected from our B, and I'll throw on the 786, where is it? 786 and 887, just to find areas of confluence for this. To me, this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That wick is going to make it difficult. So this is the general area we're going to be looking. 1 to 1 would be our first target. Damn, that's ugly. Let me see what that looks like on a smaller time frame. Ooh, let me go back for a second. And show you the oscillators again. You see we get the strongest push here, so this would be part of the third likely, and then a lower push here for the end of the third. So let's get back on that 4 hour. Damn, that is a freaking wick. That is not going to be helpful whatsoever. So this looks like 1. This is a bunch of sideways. Alright. I'm going to look at Binance because it might not have this wick and it might be a little bit more clear. So let me get second chart up here and we'll do, why does it say Neo? It's so weird. Whoops. XLM, USD, and we'll go with Binance since they've had the highest trading. Oh, what the hell did I just do? Oh, okay. No, their original account is here. All right, perfect. I'll keep this in frame. No, I'm just gonna go over here. Sorry, guys. 4 hours. Okay, so that wick isn't there. So I'm gonna count this on Binance for now. And this is ugly. Yikes. Alright. I think this is the one. This could be 1, 2 here. Nah, that doesn't look like a 1, 2 down because this looks like an ABC, a 3-wave, clear 3-wave. So that doesn't look right. Let me start here. 1. Where's my 2? I'll put it right here for now. I think this would be our 3rd. This would be our 4th, and we're working on our 5th. I'll go up a couple degrees just so I'm gonna have to dig into here. It's not great. Alright, so what is that? This looks like we get a 1 down. Let me pull this and see what our reaction is. Looks like a 1 down to the tick of the 786, then almost to the tick again, but then we get this ABC down, and this looks like 5 waves up, 3 waves down, and then 5 waves up here again. So this would be ABC. But man, this is so 3-wavy. honestly, I think the best bet here is this is a complex correction to where A, B, C, we get X down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for A, B, C. So that looks like it can work. Damn, that's a tough one. I mean, I don't love it, but this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a truncation. Let me even see if that works real quick. No, because it's expanding, it doesn't go past, so it can't truncate. If it was contracting, wait, let me check that one more time. If it was contracting, then we can deal with the truncation, but it's not. Okay, it's definitely over. So what I'll do is, this looks like, I hate the magnet sometimes, W, X, and Y here, since we get that. I'll move this down a little bit. WXY. Alright. Damn, you guys gave me a challenge. How the frick am I supposed to count this as a 3? This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me start getting a count on here. 3, 4, and 5. Oops. So 1, 2. I'll put these down here for now on a smaller degree, just so we don't confuse them. What the heck is this? That looks like some mess in a 3, which I don't love. Let's see where this goes. To the tick of that 2, 3, 6, when we would expect a retracement to at least the 50 or 618. What is this? So, man, that shows a 3rd here, 4th here, so that works. What I'm gonna do, I think this could be another diag for a 1. Now, I don't typically like doing a 1, 2, 1, 2 count when it's the length of this. But as long, I kind of keep a requirement for myself, as long as it's roughly around 100% of the 1 or under, I'll allow that personally. I've seen, I just don't like when people do 1, 6, 1, 8 of the 1, because then you're just making stuff up. That's likely where a 3 would go. So what I'm going to do is trace the length of the 1, project, I'll trace the length of this one, project it from our freaking shallow 2 here, and it doesn't quite get there. So, having to look at this, and I'm going to have to bump these up because I'm going to need to count out here. Alright, let me bump each one of these. Whoa, what did I just do? Alright. I'll bump each one of these up just so I have room to fit these in without confusing you guys too much. And this is already probably a pretty long video and you guys are bored. Sorry, I didn't know it was gonna be this complex. But yeah, I'm gonna take this off. We got that. It's less than 1, so I think this can be a 1, 2, 1, 2 situation. I mean, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's figure this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of like that. Let me do this. Measure it to see if everything goes in line with the diag. If this is our 1, it obviously looks expanding. So the 3 goes beyond it, which is nice. That means our 5 would have to go further than 3. Does it do it? Yes, it does. And our last test would be, is our 4, let me get it right on there, is our 4 longer than our 2? And it fits. I love it. So I'm going to go with a diag here. Diag here. For our 1 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I don't know where these are going to go yet. I'll put that down on a lower time frame. Sub micro. And then I'll go ahead and put some labels on here for you guys, just so you can look back and not be confused like I would be. Minuscule. Alright, 1, 2, 1, 2. Diag for that. We get a heavy retrace after a diag, which we would expect. Let's see where that retrace is. Little past the golden pocket. Alright, so now where the heck are we? This is obviously going to have to work out somehow. Now I'll bring these oscillators back up and I'll look for the strongest push within this leg to kind of find where a 3 would land. It's not really helping us here too much. This could be 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and looks like we could get some extension here to complete that. 1, 2. Okay, so we'll put the 3. I like this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 3, 4, and 1, 3, 4, and 5. 5 there. Let's see if this works out. We'll look for our normal relationships on a 2 to 3 pull. It's ticked off the 2, 3, 6, so it's very bearish, but we get the reaction right at the algo target like we expect. So I like that. 1, 2, there's no overlap. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so what does that make this? That makes this incorrect so far. That would make this the 3. We get an ABC up for our 4th, and this looks like it could be the 5th. Damn. It's hard to tell. Man, that is like to the tick. It's hard to tell if it's the same price. Let me do this. It'll show us. So they're exactly the same prices. So that can be a 1, 2. Sorry guys, I need a little sip of water. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 possible. What I'll do, let's see if that works out. Did I already do this? I think I did. No, I didn't. 2 to 3. Look at that. To the tick of that algo target. Got through here, but there's no overlap here. All right, let's see. So that would be the 3rd of here. Damn. This count is a headache. Thanks a lot, guys. Now I'm going to pull from our 2 to 3 here. Let me make sure I don't have any overlaps. 1 and 4 does not overlap. 1 and 4 gets close but doesn't overlap. And then 1 and 4 doesn't overlap. Okay, I still like that. So 3 here. Excuse me. 4 here, and then look for a 5th here. This looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possibly. This could be our A. 1, 2, 3, 5. I don't like. It's a tough one. Excuse me. Man, that is ugly. Let me try to get on the 1 hour. See if I can dig that out. Actually, this looks like 1, 2. Is this right? Looks like I'm missing something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't love it. Because this could also be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not a huge fan. I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's an overlap there. I'm going to put it on an even smaller time frame just so I can see if I can get a little bit more clarity around this. You guys sure chose a tough one. I mean, there's clear overlap there. Alright, let's see if a diag works here. Obviously that's longer. This doesn't look like it would be longer. 4 would, but this doesn't so far. Man, it's like right there. Oof. I don't love that count. A, B, C, X. Maybe A, B, C, A, B, C. It's a tough one. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for A, B, well, A. It doesn't get quite to the requirement. At wick. A. A, B, C. Yeah, this is ugly. So A, B, be super truncation. Another. Let's see what the relationship for that is. And I don't love this, so don't hold me to it. I'm doing this live. 0.786. Man, this kid. Again, I wouldn't trade off this being an ABC, but that is what I am going to call it for now. Only because, excuse me, the subdivision is very choppy. It's been choppy for this last whole leg, basically. But I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with a 5th completed here, although this could still be a 4th of this move. kind of hard to tell. Let's see what that looks like. To the tick of the 382, so that still works. We don't know. Obviously, this is all my interpretation. So cool. We have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me get it on a smaller time frame just so I could transfer this over to our other count that we've been working on this one. So I had this as 1, 2. Where the hell? All the way down here. I'm not gonna deal with that wick. 4 and no, sorry. So far it's 1, 2, 3, and working on the 4th, which could be in for a 5th down. And this video is probably so long and boring. Sorry, guys. With that said, let's throw the big picture together. Now, I've already done these. I'll do this again. Off our B, we're channeling it to see where we might land. There's 1. I did the length of A projected from the B. Here's 100, so that is lining up. Another thing I will do is take the length of our W, project it from our X, which 100 lands right where we were to the tick. Another thing I'll do, I gotta take the magnet off for this. Right now I'm just looking for confluences. I'm extending this because I'm gonna do the triangle thrust to make sure that we've at least gone that length, and obviously we have. So there's more confluence of the 1618 of that. I'm also going to pull a fib to build more confluence, the length of our W. Look for here, we have this algo. This one we just ticked off of, and then the next one would be here, which is a little far, but it's definitely within reach. I'll go on the intermediate fib pulls. I'm gonna take this as our bottom because remember this wick didn't exist on Binance, so I'll pull there to the tick. Oh no, wait, no, I'm pulling here, sorry. Maybe it is in. That's a pretty complex count. All right, 2 to 4. Sorry. 2 to 4. Algo is down here. Looks like it's right in line with this 100% at 0.0381 roughly. It's also in line with the channel line. Now let's see what else we can throw on here. I'm gonna do this fib channel. We haven't put in a fifth or a 4th yet. I don't know if we have, if that's finished. But we'll go ahead and it's hard to project for that. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll zoom out and get on a 3-day and pull a fib this opposite direction. This is 0. Not really showing you. This is Bittrex, okay. So I'll take it from here, pull the length of this, and we're only at the 382. I'm gonna extend these lines just so when we zoom in, we'll be able to see them better. All right, guys. Damn. Again, the complexity of this count is making it difficult to get a really accurate count. But if we're looking at A, B, we have the channel boundary here, the algo target here. This could even go further this way before ultimately turning down, and we could get all this confluence because we have the 50 of our major pole or macro pole. We have the -618, 1272 of the A, the 1272 of the WX. So there's a lot of confluence and a lot of algo targets down here. So my first inclination would be, all right, let's see how this starts to unfold. Even though this has been super complex, it's hard to get a good grasp on it, but this would be my first area of interest. And then this would be my ultimate area of interest because we have all this confluence and algo targets down here. I'm going to go ahead and throw on the volume just to see. I'll zoom out again and get back on this 3-day just to see where all that lines up. So our high volume node is actually right here where our first algo target is. That's really interesting. We could get a lot of support here. We're likely to get a lot of support here because there was all this trading action going on here, which is likely the fourth of this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, if that is the correct count. So I like this area, this whole box. If I was long-term bullish, that would be a big area of interest to me. That's pretty much it, guys. Man, I didn't expect this to go so long and this count to be so complex. So sorry if I was a little too quiet or rambling or whatever. It just threw me off that it was going to be this difficult. But yeah, that's what I do when I look for to build a count. I'm looking for confluences of all this stuff that I've built to figure out where I want to put my entries and where my stops would be and things like that. This wasn't too bad through here, but the low liquidity and the wicks have made the end here pretty difficult to count, pretty complex. But let's look at the big picture and look at all the confluences and the geometry and see where we think would be a good area to enter for the long term. Personally, I don't think I would trade this just because of the complexity of here doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence in the end of the count. I would probably look for a nice 5 waves off and then get a retrace. Unless I was super bullish long term. I don't know a whole lot about this project. I know what they do, but I haven't been following along, so it'd be hard for me to say, okay, I'm just going to put my investments down here and hope for the best if I don't know more fundamentals about this. So I hope that helps. I would look for an easier chart to trade. But if I was long-term bullish on this and I knew all this stuff coming down the pipeline or whatever, this would be a high area of interest for me. We're getting divergence. Volume has been super low. So yeah, I hope that helps, guys. Have a good one.